There are new bombshell details in the case of the beautiful missing woman in Aruba.
A beautiful young American tourist, Robyn Gardner, heads to an Aruban vacation with so-called traveling companion, Gary Giordano, as she's never seen again.
Giordano told police Robyn was swept out to sea while they were snorkeling together.
Joining me now is Robyn Gardner's boyfriend, Richard Forrester. You had thought Robyn was in Florida visiting her family. You had no idea she was in Aruba?
That's right. I'm as much at a quandary as everybody else.
And a new twist in the disappearance in Aruba, Gary Giordano is the beneficiary of her $1.5 million accidental death policy, the policy he himself took out.
This is huge. This is the motive that they believe is behind all of what has taken place here. These are, of course, photos that are taken at the Rum Reef Bar, and you are watching the last time we will see Robyn Gardner. They had a very extensive search of the southern part of the island and found nothing.
Police have arrested Gary Giordano as a suspect in her disappearance.
Belligerent! That's how Aruban officials are describing Gary Giordano's attitude as he sits in jail.
Gary Giordano was detained for months while Aruban authorities investigated the disappearance, but was eventually released.
Cops now believe beautiful Robyn Gardner is dead.
To this day, Robyn's disappearance remains a mystery. Well, Gary is here today, and he's here because he wants to prove his innocence. And for the first time, he will come face to face with one of Robyn's family members to answer the hard questions. But first, Gary explains what he says happened on the day Robyn vanished.
On August 2nd, that fateful day, we woke up around noon and we had a morning drink, vodka and orange juice, and we headed out. So we got to the Rum Reef Hotel and we had lunch and then paid the bill and we left. So we made our way down to Baby Beach. The water's only a couple hundred yards from the restaurant. I said, do you want to jump in the water? She just got up and started headed toward the water. She was in her bare feet. I still had my sneakers on. She had a snorkel mask, I had a snorkel mask. We got into the water. She's in front of me. So as we're going, I could tell we're getting in deeper water. It wasn't a dramatic drop off. I could just tell at some point it was deeper. It was time to turn around. So I grabbed her, that would be her left leg, and gave her a tug. She turned and looked at me and I pointed in. She acknowledged. So I turned, and that's when it all went bad for me. Now I have my shoes on, and now I've got a problem. I have 2 boat anchors on my feet now, and I'm having a problem swimming, right? And I realized we're a lot farther from shore than I thought we were. I'm starting to work at a little panic of myself. I'm not thinking about her because she didn't have shoes on. So there was no thought in my mind that she was in any kind of trouble. When I hit that shore, you feel like your heart is just gonna split out of your chest. And then I turned and looked, and she was gone.
At this point, Gary says he got out of the water and ran 200 yards back to the Rum Reef Bar and Grill to look for help.
I came back around to the restaurant and nobody was there. I heard some people talking and then I turned and asked the women, can they call emergency? Because I don't know the number there. Coast Guard showed up, helicopters showed up, police showed up, search began. I told them what happened, her shoes were there, her dress was there. And now it's nighttime. One of the Coast Guard, they said that you're not needed here anymore that evening. Hardly had any sleep. Next day, I met with the U.S. consulate. She said, do you want to call Robyn's mother and let her know what's going on? The first response with the mother was, did the alcohol kill her? And she said, you went in the water during shark feeding time. It just seemed a little cold. When I met with the mother, I said, hey, I'll stay here as long as you want in Aruba. She said to me, that's okay, you can leave. My cousin is coming in. She's gonna be my moral support. I went to the police station for my final interview. I told them I was leaving Aruba. I'm going home now. A few hours later, they arrested me in the airport. In Aruba, they can pretty much keep you as a suspect behind bars for 116 days, basically 4 months. Interrogated me over 60 times. They were just trying to frame me for whatever they can come up with. Never charged with a crime, no evidence of a crime.
Okay, Gary, let's just jump right into this. Tell me, what's your goal in being here today?
Sure, my goal is to really communicate the truth. There's been a lot of misreporting of the facts, and I just want to set the record straight.
All right, so do you think that because of what's been misreported, as you say, that people have the wrong impression, that they think you're guilty of killing this girl?
Absolutely. Right.
Did you kill Robyn Gardner?
Absolutely not, no.
Did you cause her death?
No.
Do you feel guilty about the fact that she is missing?
I feel regretful that we even went to that island.
You guys were down there not as a couple, but as friends.
That's incorrect. That's another totally misreported
Well, that's
fact.
why I'm asking you.
No, we were a couple. We were friends. We were intimate friends. She dated other people.
She was an escort, correct?
She had, from what she told me, she had done that before.
But was she being paid to be on this trip?
No.
So,
no money. Matter of fact, she paid for her own airfare. And the trip was free. It was all points for from the hotel. So
how well did you know her?
I knew her for 2 years. I knew her very well.
I understand that the day of her disappearance, there has been speculation that you may have put something in her drink, that you may have drugged her in some way. I assume you want to clear that up.
Sure, clear that up. It's complete media hype just to make a story up. The book that I've written has photographs of the cups that they took from the beach, her dress, her shoes, my shirt, all have been sent to Holland for testing. None of that is true.
You went snorkeling on Nanki Beach?
Yeah.
You're a scuba diver, right?
I'm a licensed scuba diver.
You're a licensed scuba diver. Why did you pick Nanki Beach? Because I've not been there, but I've looked at it very closely, and it looks really rocky and rough and hard to get in and out of.
So we didn't go snorkeling. It wasn't like this is a snorkel trip. It was like we're gonna hang at the beach, relax, a little away from where the people are at Baby Beach to be a little private. And then at the end, we decided, hey, do we want to jump in the water and look at the fish, feed the fish real quick? And we did.
And you had mask and snorkels.
Yes.
Now, the thing that I'm curious about, because I'm also a licensed scuba diver, I've made hundreds of dives all over the world, and your fins are your friend. You went in to snorkel without your fins, and in fact, with shoes on, and she went in barefooted in kind of a rocky, craggy area. That seems totally illogical to me. And as it turns out, it was a bad decision,
It's just
right?
twisted. Well, and several other people have died there afterwards.
Well, you say it's twisted, but it did turn out to be a bad
Oh, no,
decision
no,
because
no,
you said you got out there and your feet were heavy and you...
Right. So we were just going to dip in, right? Just feed the fish, snorkel. You've done that before. You've gotten in the water, stuck your face in and gone into 4 feet of water and come out. That's what we did.
Sure.
Right. This wasn't an excursion where we were planning on going snorkeling for an hour.
Well, how did you wind up in deep water then?
Current, wind.
You guys were in the water as buddies. And you went in together, you came out alone. Why did you leave her behind?
I didn't leave her behind. I turned and had trouble. I had no thought that she was in danger. If I thought she was in danger, then I would turn to help. I'm the idiot that had the shoes on and went out too far. And now they're absorbed water and they're heavy. So I was the one in trouble. I didn't think she had any trouble. I didn't just leave her behind. See, we're just perpetuating the same nonsense.
Do you want me to not ask you the questions?
No, go ahead. I'm just saying that...
You want me to ask you the questions so you can respond or you don't?
That's fine. That's fine. I'm just saying that I'm telling you what happened.
Back to being buddies in the water, you went in as two and came back as one. That doesn't seem like a very good buddy system.
It happened to 2 other people just afterwards as well. 2 other Americans, the same thing happened. Husband and wife swimming together at Baby Beach. Right? The woman drowned, 48-year-old woman drowned. She drowned 4 weeks after I was released out of prison. An NBA basketball player, a year and 4 days after Robyn's drowning, drowned there as well, right in front of his wife.
And why is that? Why do those people do? You're telling me this for a reason.
Well, I'm telling you for a reason.
Say people drown in this area?
It's extremely dangerous there. I found out when I got back, and it's in the book. I did a lot of research to put this book together. It turns out that they had signs already made with the International Red Cross, with the Aruban government, some other governments. They already had these signs printed saying, big, huge signs saying, riptides, currents, swim at your own risk, wear life vests. They kept them in a warehouse, okay? Robyn would still be here if that sign was up because we wouldn't have gotten in the water. The American woman too, and the other man would have been alive.
So American woman and an NBA player. Both of their bodies were found, but Robyn wasn't found.
That's correct.
Why do you think that is?
My understanding is a lot of people, natives and other people that have come from Venezuela to come illegally to come over to Aruba, that are dropped off there at Baby Beach, is the southern part of the island. When they swim to shore, their bodies don't show up, but it's just not reported. You can't tell me that there's nobody in Aruba has ever gone missing at sea.
Now, once you're in there, you're on ground, you're safe, you turn around, she's gone.
Gone.
Why not get your fins, your mask, go get her? You are the most immediate trained help there. You are a certified scuba diver with gear in your car fins and mask, why didn't you go back in the water
The
after your
same
friend?
reason why I called the Coast Guard, and none of them got in the water. I stayed there till dark, and not one single person got in that water.
You knew that hours later.
No,
I'm asking you at the moment.
Because it's dangerous. I'll tell you why. Because I just came out. I fought for my life to get back. I'm exhausted. I'm completely exhausted. My heart's pounding out of my chest, exhausted. It's not going to do her or me any good to jump back in that water, right? So it's time to go get help. That's what I did. It's a choice.
Did you
and
scream?
I made that choice.
Did you scream for help at the time?
There was nobody to scream to. So I ran to the restaurant to get help.
But it didn't occur to you to put your fins back on, get your mask and snorkel, and you're tired, your heart is pounding, you're exhausted. That didn't occur to you to go back in with proper
I think you asked me
equipment.
3 times about this thing. I answered as best I can answer. I can answer a 3rd time, but it's the same answer. That's the choice I made. Based on my physical being, that's the choice I made.
Okay. Well, I'm asking you because I'm not understanding your mindset at the time. You keep saying that you want to explain your actions, but then when I ask you about it, you get defensive about it. I don't understand why.
I'll explain it again for the same way again.
Well, I'm not dumb. I can follow you. I promise I'll keep up.
When I was there, as exhausted as I was, right, I decided to go back in the water was not an option. It was not an option.
After Gardner's disappearance, Giordano reportedly stood to gain $1.5 million in insurance money through a policy he bought specifically for their 5-day trip.
It's just nonsense. Didn't go out and buy life insurance. Number one, it was not life insurance. It was travel insurance, which I've purchased travel insurance all the time. Travel insurance is a common thing. It's cheap, you get it, and you're covered. I know Robyn was not, wealthy, and she had just lost her job, so no health insurance. So, why not get it?
Now, Robyn's sister says, Gary, well, she just says he's a lying snake who murdered her younger sister. Take a look.
I believe Robyn was murdered by Gary Giordano. I think this was definitely premeditated murder. Gary has changed his story a million times. It's very interesting how Robyn just disappeared. I think Gary's motives were, first and foremost, money. I loathe him. He's a sinister, sinister man. I think he's a snake.
Okay, now you have never met nor spoken to Gary, correct?
That's correct.
How do you feel about being here with him today and what's been said so far today?
He didn't get the insurance, so that's why he wrote the book. He's trying to make money. He's sinister.
What she's talking about is you got an insurance policy on Robyn for this trip, correct?
That is not correct. We had travel insurance.
There's cancellation. It pays on what circumstance?
There's many. It pays if you collect the cancellation insurance. It pays on that. In this particular case, we didn't do the cancellation, but it pays for accidents, right? It pays for, I think, dental as well. Pays for rent-a-car. So I just clicked those buttons and picked the highest amount. Bing, bing, bing. It took 5 seconds.
Okay, so you had insurance that if something happens to her, where she dies, you get paid, and if something happens to you and you die, your mother gets paid.
No. So when you purchase the insurance, right, you purchase the insurance, and just like any other insurance you purchase, if you don't specify a beneficiary, it goes to your next of kin, okay? In my case, I went ahead and made it clear, because I've purchased travel insurance in the past. I want to make it very clear where it goes to. So we filled out another beneficiary form and said, I want my mother to be the beneficiary. And then I said, hey, do you want to make somebody else? And she says, yes, I want to make you the beneficiary.
So that's a yes? You took out insurance where if she gets killed, you get paid, and if you get killed, your mother gets paid?
Yes.
Well, that's either...
And also, if she broke her arm, there's all kinds of other stuff. You're focusing on the killing part or the death part. That's kind of... I see what you're doing.
Well, she's missing. You see what I'm doing. What is it that I'm doing?
No, you're focusing on the sinister part of just hitting in that one point to say this what he's doing. This is what he clearly did for
Gary,
this reason.
Come on. You are here because you think people believe you are guilty of killing her. So we're talking about taking out insurance for her death. Do you really think that's an inappropriate question for me to ask you?
I'm just making it clear because it was spun out that it was that I went out and purchased life insurance. Did not.
But stop playing the victim here.
My name is Donna. I'm a single mom and I have 2 girls, Caitlin and Amanda. We lived in Ada for 7 years. I never dreamed anything so horrible would happen to my family. Jerry and I dated for about 5 years. The first year was pretty good, and then he started trying to control things, told me how to raise my children, how to spend my money, what friends I could see, where I could go.
Jerry was manipulative and controlling and possessive, and I think my daughter Donna was brainwashed by him. We did not get to see our granddaughters, Caitlin and Amanda. They were isolated from us.
Jerry seemed to want things his way, and only his way.
Jerry and I broke up about every 2 months. He would always end up talking me into going back with him. When we broke up the final time, he threatened to kill himself. He kept calling me at work. He left me notes on my car, and I told him that he needed to get help. Jerry checked into a mental hospital. After he got out of the hospital, he kept bothering me at work. I left him an email. It was pretty straightforward, and it said, "Leave me alone, don't call me, don't leave me notes, stay away from me." On the morning of August 29th, I pulled into my garage and walked into the kitchen, and he grabbed me. Jerry had my garage door opener, and he used that to break into my house. He said, "I just want to talk to you, and this is the only way I can get you to talk to me." He said, "You've got to go back with me because now I'm better." I said no. And he got very angry, and he said, "Well, I really didn't want to do it this way," and he pulled a gun out of his pocket. He had this awful look on his face. It didn't even look like his face. It was just an evil look, and he was so angry at me. I was scared to death. I just kept thinking, I can't let my kids grow up without a mother. Terri told me to call my work and tell them that my kids were sick and that I was going to be late. I know that my coworker knew something was wrong because I never do that.
I heard over the scanner that a policeman was going out to Donna's address.
The call came in, she might be held at gunpoint.
Jerry's got Donna and he's got a weapon. She is my daughter, and Jerry Savage used to be her boyfriend.
My mother called and told me that she just heard Donna's name on the scanner and that Jerry had her at gunpoint.
I had no doubt he was going to kill me, and I didn't want my kids to come home from school and find me there. So we went to his house. I continued to try to talk to him about let's get back together, and I just told him whatever he wanted to hear just to get out of this alive.
I just felt terrified. I was just thinking that she would not get out of it alive.
My coworker, Christy, called me, and she started asking me yes and no questions. She asked me, "Are you in Ada?" And I said no. She said, "Are you alone?" I said no. She said, "Does he have a gun?" I said yes.
Jerry held a gun to her head for about 3.5 hours.
I was scared to death. I could see that I had underestimated what characteristics I'd seen in Jerry.
After I got off the phone, we heard police radios, and Jerry said, "Oh, look what you've done. You've gotten the police here." And he laid the gun down on the couch on top of his little blue bag that he had brought over to my house. I went to the back of the house. I was afraid there was going to be gunfire. When I saw Jerry was being arrested, I was so glad that I was going to get to see my girls again and that I had made it through it alive.
In Jerry's kidnap kit, we found 2 rolls of duct tape, zip ties, a pair of pliers, extra ammo, and a loaded 9mm pistol.
Less than 30 hours after he put a gun to my head, he was out of jail.
She was just terrified because she thought that he wouldn't get out of jail.
I went up to the courthouse and got a protective order against him. The undersheriff said that he would give me a 2-hour notice before he got out. So about 5 o'clock that evening, the undersheriff called me and he said, "Initiate the evacuation plan now." At that time, I was so scared and everything was happening so fast and I had to get out of town really, really quick. I was on the road to Tulsa before Jerry was released.
You at that point had no doubt that he intended to kill you.
That's right.
I mean, it was clear to you. You guys knew the same thing when you heard what had happened, right?
Yes.
All right. And you never liked this guy to begin with, right?
No, I did not.
What was it about him that didn't ring right with you?
Well, he just seemed possessive. He wanted to isolate her from her family, from just keep her to himself. And he was manipulative, I felt like anyway, and I just thought it was wrong.
And he kept you away from your grandkids for what, 3 years?
4.
4 years, so y'all didn't have a chance to see them. Now, Joe Glover is the undersheriff at Pontotoc County, Oklahoma, and he is with us via satellite. Hello.
Hello, Dr. Phil.
Can you hear us okay?
Yes, I can.
When you saw what was in this kidnap kit, what did that tell you from a law enforcement standpoint?
Well, there was no doubt that Donna was going to have to go with Jerry that day.
And do you believe that from what we see here in this that he intended to kill her?
That's hard to say, but he was definitely going to kidnap Donna one way or another.
So clearly, this was totally premeditated. I mean, he thought about this, put it together, worked through it, and decided that's what I'm going to do.
Oh, there's no doubt. She was going to have to go with him that day. When Jerry was fixing to make bond from the Pontotoc County Jail, we were concerned for Donna's safety, and I told her it would probably be in her best interest if she did leave town for a few days.
For 3 weeks, I was in Tulsa, and my kids were staying with my parents, and we never heard from Jerry.
We tried to protect the girls. We warned them both, don't ever be by yourself. Always be in a group.
We were starting to feel a little more confident that we were more safe than we originally thought.
On September 23rd, Caitlin drove to the high school for color guard practice.
My sister was supposed to pick me up at 3 o'clock, and she never showed up, so I called my grandpa.
Andy got in his truck, went to the high school, and there sat Caitlin's car with the back door open.
Her purse was in the floorboard, her flags were in the back seat.
And Caitlin was nowhere to be found. I called the police.
911, what's your emergency?
I have a missing child.
Okay, and what's the missing person's name?
Caitlin Wooten.
When I got off of the phone, Caitlin called me. She said, Emma, you need to have Mom call this number within 5 minutes. And I said, Caitlin, does Jerry have you? And he took the phone from her. I begged him, please don't hurt Caitlin, please don't hurt her. And he said, lady, I'm gonna kill you and the whole family, and you're wasting your time because you've got less than 5 minutes now to get your daughter to call me. It took me 4 minutes to reach her, and I finally got her. And I had to tell her that Jerry had her daughter.
So I called him on his cell phone, and he said, I've got Caitlin, and I'm gonna kill her. He said, we're out in the middle of the woods somewhere, and you'll never find us. And I could hear them walking through the sticks. And I just kept begging him, please, don't hurt her. I said, well, let me trade places with her. He said, no, if I kill you, it won't hurt you, it'll hurt her. If I kill her, it'll hurt you, and that's what I've got to do. I said, well, just let me talk to her for a minute. And I told her that everything was gonna be okay, and that I loved her. She said she loved me, and then he took the phone away from her. He told her to sit down on that stump over there. He said, I'm gonna shoot her from behind so she won't see it coming. He hung up, and I called right back, and he didn't answer the phone.
The Amber Alert went out real quick. They had one student describing a green pickup that was pulled up beside Caitlin's car. I knew whose truck it was. That belonged to Faye Slager. Faye was taken into custody that night.
It was the worst night of my life. We didn't know if she was alive or dead.
The pressure and stress while we were waiting to find Caitlin was unbelievable.
We were all just sick. No one could sleep. We sat up all night listening to the scanner. At 9:30 in the morning, I heard them say, I'll take you to the body. They used the word body, and I was so in hopes it was just Jerry.
She was right where what Donna heard him describe.
It was probably one of the most difficult crime scenes that I've had to work.
There was a fallen tree that she had been sitting on. He shot her in the back of the head, and then he shot himself. I knew then I had to come tell the rest of the family, my sister, my mother, and my father, that Caitlin was dead.
I knew from the look on his face, and I said, please tell me that he's dead too. And he said, yes, that Jerry was dead too. Me and Amanda just held each other, and they were both crying and screaming, no, 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 it can't be true. She said, I can't live without my sister.
Amanda started screaming. And I don't think I'll ever get that sound out of my ears, my heart.
I just didn't believe that it was happening.
I spent 17 years keeping approximately 30,000 people out of harm's way, and I couldn't even protect my own niece.
Amanda and I are staying with my parents right now because I can't go back to my house. I look over my shoulder continuously. I'm so afraid that something will happen to Amanda too. She's not doing well. She's having nightmares. She won't even be in a room by herself. If I could speak to Caitlin right now, I would tell her that I miss her terribly and that I love her very much. I'm sorry that I wish I could have stopped Jerry from hurting her.
Jerry shouldn't have been let out after committing such a violent crime.
She was the most innocent of all, and she was not protected.
My whole life has changed now. She was the best thing that's ever happened to me. She was the joy of my life. He's taken away everything from me.
This is just, words can't describe what has happened to y'all. How are you feeling as you're sitting there now, just 2 weeks after this has happened?
I just can't believe that they let him out. My life has just changed. I've lost the one person in my life that's just my whole life.
When I heard about this, I was so incensed that he got out of jail. And I want to talk about that in a minute. And my rule has always been, you just don't intrude on people's grief. You just don't intrude on that. You don't, I hate when that happens. But the reason that y'all wanted to do this is because this has got to stop. I mean, and help us out if you can from a law enforcement standpoint. How did this guy get out? How did he get a gun when he had just been arrested and charged with kidnapping with a gun? How did he get out within 30 hours and get a gun? Sheriff, what can you tell us about that?
Well, we believe in the criminal justice system. Everything was done to the letter of the law, but obviously the system failed. Jerry's bond was set the next day after he was arrested, and he had quite a substantial amount of cash in his bank account, and he was able to make the bond set.
And you knew in your mind, from your experience and your interaction with him, you knew the guy was dangerous. That's why you were warning the family, right?
That is correct. Jerry had no prior criminal history, but we have since found out that apparently he did take his ex-wife at gunpoint about 20 years ago, and that incident was never reported.
Yeah. And of course you knew that he had taken you by gunpoint just a matter of hours earlier.
At this time, we're going to pick up Caitlin's car. The car was the last thing she was at, and I just wanted the car back so bad. I'm a little bit afraid to see the car. I just need to see it and touch it, just to have a part of her. I see Caitlin so proud that she could drive, that she passed her test. And how could he do that to her, Andy? How could he do that to her? Oh, God. Look, it's got her flags and everything in there, her purse. Oh, God.
The last 2 weeks have been about 2 years long, it seems like. It was 2 weeks ago today. She was kidnapped and murdered right before a football game.
So hard.
I know it, sweetheart. This whole thing's hard, sweetheart.
I just wanted to see what she had with her last time she came home from school.
I'm so sorry. I wish I could change things. I'm so sorry. So sorry.
Why was that so difficult for you?
just keep going over in my mind how scared she must have been when he took her from her car. Because I know how hard it is when someone's holding a gun to your head, and I know how scared she must have been.
Because you've been there. Mm-hmm. You walked that walk that she walked.
Right.
Amanda, are you still afraid at this point?
Not so much because Faye is in jail, but I don't know. I'm not as afraid as I was.
Because you know that there was another guy that's been charged, this Faye Sliger, and you have considered that Jerry was evil enough that he may well have put things into motion in his absence, to pay somebody to do something after he's gone or whatever. Tell me what your thoughts.
He told me that he had paid someone to come and kill my whole family. So we're still looking over our shoulders.
So he told you, when I'm gone, there's going to be somebody that I've paid to find you, look for you, and kill you.
Right.
So what do you do about that? And what precautions are you taking? What things are you doing now to protect?
We watch her like a hawk. She doesn't get to go anywhere by herself. Her activities are very limited right now on what we let her do.
And do you get the importance of that?
Yeah.
Tell me how you're doing.
Well, sometimes I wonder how I'm even breathing. How am I living through this? Just walking, just surviving. I just wonder, because it just comes on you in waves. It's awful because our family's never experienced anything. We're just family.
So this is new. I mean, obviously this would be new in anybody's life. And you folks want to see this law changed. You want to see the law changed where somebody cannot do this and then turn around and get out before law enforcement has the opportunity to prove. And I understand about you're innocent until you're proven guilty in this country, but if somebody takes an egregious and aggravated act like this with a firearm involved, then the idea is that they should have the burden to prove that they have the right to be back out on the street, and precautions have to be put in place at that point.
A little boy starved and locked under the stairs.
Tonight, 5-year-old Jordan is at Children's Memorial recovering after police say he nearly died because he was being starved. Bradley and Tammy Bleimeyer were arrested and Tammy bonded out of jail. They were charged after deputy constables realized Jordan had been locked in a small 4x4 room under the staircase.
This is something out of a third world country.
He was wearing a soiled diaper when cops found him Friday at a motel. Cops found out about this horror because the boy's courageous 16-year-old stepbrother had enough and got into a fight with his stepfather over the alleged abuse of this little boy. With cops on the way, the stepmother took the boy and fled her home, allegedly to hide him from cops.
Investigators say Tammy has 6 other children, a 1-year-old who is now in foster care. Her 5, 7, 13, 14, and 16-year-olds are headed to a shelter. Tammy is pregnant with her 7th child.
Jordan Bleimeyer, meanwhile, is living with relatives, and his biological mother is allowed to visit him.
Today, for the very first time, his stepmother, Tammy Bleimeyer, is speaking out exclusively about what she says really happened behind the closed doors of the house that police say was little Jordan's prison. When the story broke 6 months ago, I traveled to Spring, Texas and sat down with Jordan's biological mother, Wendy, who had reunited with her son just days after he had been rescued. Take a look. When this child was taken to the hospital, he weighed 29 pounds.
Oh yeah. I wanted to cry so bad, but I knew I had to be strong for him.
What is this black thing on his right shoulder?
That is a taser mark.
The police report says that there were bones sticking out and vertebrae showing through the skin, bleeding from the back, skin coming off of the back.
Oh yeah, it's something no child should ever have to endure.
What do you think when you look at this?
I think that those people are monsters. I don't understand how they could have done that to my sweet baby.
What was the first thing your son said to you when you saw him?
Mommy. It's never felt better for me to ever hear those words.
What did you say to him when you first saw him?
I told him that I missed him so much and that I promised that I would never, never be away from him again.
Just so I'm clear, where was this closet in the house to your understanding?
Underneath the stairs. This is how they were able to hide him, and it was just a small little cubby hole. But if you put stuff in front of it, you can't even tell that there's a door there. The children called it the Harry Potter room. They told the other children in the house that if they went down there and tried to help him, that they would get hurt.
Do you feel like you failed him?
I did. I felt like I should have gotten a gun and kicked that door in. I could truly feel that something was wrong. They completely shut me off from his life. That's a bond that should never have been broken.
What was the explanation? I mean, what did his father say?
He had no reason for it other than what I really believe is spite.
If the allegations are true, who's the ringleader?
Honestly, they're both at fault. Tammy could have put her foot down. She could have stopped this. She chose not to.
How do you feel about the fact that this woman's out walking around free right now?
That woman should never have been allowed to get out on a $2,000 bond for what she did to my child.
At that time, I wanted to talk to Tammy to find out what on earth she could say that would explain this little boy's condition. Her attorneys let me into her house and even let me inspect the closet where police say Jordan was held captive. But they would not allow Tammy to speak to me. Well, today, just 6 months later, Jordan's stepmother Tammy is here, breaking her silence. You may notice that we have no audience today because of the sensitive nature of this story. Now, Tammy's attorneys have asked to be present during the interview. They are here in the studio along with Tammy's victim's advocate. We're here discussing a story that I got involved in many, many months ago concerning your stepson. And I've actually been in your home, but I've not talked to you. Now, you were then and are now currently married to a man by the name of Bradley, correct?
Yes.
How long was it before you got married?
About a little over a month.
Now, at the time you married him, how many children did you have?
5.
And he had?
1.
Just the one. Did you get the impression that he was a loving father? Was he affectionate? Did he touch him, hold him?
He wasn't really an affectionate person, but he did genuinely seem to love him a lot.
Did you ever see anything go on between Bradley and Jordan that caused you concern, that you went, whoa?
He spanked him, and I don't spank my kids. He yelled at him, and I had a problem with that. He cusses a lot, and I don't like that type of language, even spoken around me, much less in front of a kid or to a kid. So, yeah, we had a lot of parenting conflicts.
One of the things you've said is that you had an arrangement where he wouldn't parent your children and you wouldn't parent his.
Right.
That seems really bizarre to me. How did that work
We had
in
a
practice?
premarital agreement where we actually signed that part of it stipulated that I was responsible for my children and he was responsible for his child.
And define responsible, what does that mean?
He would take care of him, he would provide for him any type of parenting or discipline for his child or my children. We were each responsible to take care of.
Did you think that extended to not being responsible for protection?
Well, I don't think I ever put that much thought into as far as protection. I mean, if somebody was trying to take him or something, I'd step in, if that's what you mean. What do you mean by, like, protection?
Well, I mean just that. If Bradley was doing something to Jordan, you thought crossing the line, hurting the child, putting him in harm's way, you don't think that premarital agreement that you signed would preclude you from protecting the child?
I think if I saw anybody that was doing something to their child and I could intervene, I would.
Was there a time in your relationship that you came to be afraid of your husband?
Yes.
How early on was that?
Within a few months, I'd say.
What made you afraid?
In the beginning, he would have anger outbursts and hit things. He'd punch the truck in the garage. And then there was a few times where he started turning that on me. I wanted to take my son to go see his dad, and he told me I couldn't. And he called me out to the car in the front of the house, and he opened up the console and pulled out a gun, and he was waving it around at my head.
Did you call the police?
No.
Did you report this to anyone?
No.
Did you tell any family members or friends?
I may have, I don't remember.
This is your allegation about what happened. He's not here to refute that. At that point, did you consider leaving him?
I did.
Why
My
not?
ex actually told me, this guy's crazy. I don't know how you're gonna get yourself out of this. And I said, I don't either, because I'm pregnant. I was living every day, not knowing what was gonna happen. You just kind of live day by day.
Did he put his hands on you in the months to come? Did he hit you? Did he hurt you?
He never hit me. He always choked me. And I guess I kind of justified it. He never hit me, you know. People asked, I could say that honestly. Then there were other instances. One time I had called Wendy and told her I didn't like the way that Brad was disciplining Jordan, because he was spanking him. I didn't believe in that, and he was yelling at him and stuff. And she actually also told me that I needed to mind my own business. She told me that she parented him the exact same way. It was not my child. It was not my concern. And I said, okay, I don't have to be told by both parents, butt out before I get the hint that, this is none of my business. And when I did call her, she turned around and told his sister, who then told him. And when I got home from work that night, he grabbed me by my throat and threw me into the wall upstairs, was holding me by my throat up off the ground, and told me if I ever contacted her again, he would kill me after the baby was born and take the baby.
So you feel like when you reached out to her,
She got me in trouble.
she ratted you out, it came back around to bite you. I talked to Wendy, as you know. She says that she made attempt after attempt after attempt to see her child for 2 years, that he refused and that you refused. Take a look at this. You know where your child was inside that house.
I left notes on the door. I went over there with police officers. They wouldn't answer the door. They wouldn't answer my phone calls. None. I messaged Tammy on Facebook begging her to just let me have some time with my child.
And what kind of response would you get?
She messaged me threatening to file restraining orders on me for threatening her children. I never threatened her children. All I asked was to see my own child.
Did you hear the comment about the restraining order?
She didn't make multiple attempts to try to see him. She did come over there one time. We weren't home. She did leave a note. She did talk to me after that, and I did tell her if she came over there and caused a scene in front of my children, that I would do what I could to protect them, and then if that meant getting a restraining order, then I would do that. But I did not ever tell her she couldn't see Jordan. I told her that was between her and Brad, and that she needed to contact him directly.
Did you ever see him withhold food from him?
No.
Why did your own son tell the police that was happening?
I can't answer a question, why did he say that, if I don't even know that he said that.
I spoke to Assistant Chief Mark Herman of the Harris County Constable's Office, Precinct 4.
We got a call of a 16-year-old and his stepdad fist fighting in the front yard. Deputies respond, we get out there and separate them. The 16-year-old starts saying, look, we're fighting because he came home and saw that I let my 5-year-old stepbrother out of the closet. He was hungry, he was crying, he's being abused.
What I'm interested in is, you say that you don't parent Jordan, you even signed a paper that you don't interact with Jordan, and that he doesn't interact with your children.
Well, we interacted.
But yet here, there's a fight going on in the front yard between him and your son, which I'm certain you didn't endorse, but then you're leaving with his child, which seems wholly inconsistent with what you've described as your arrangement.
Well, that actually isn't even accurate.
Okay, What is?
There was no fist fight in the front yard.
The police showed up, right?
Correct. But, well, I didn't even see the police show up. I've been told
You
that
left
too.
before the police got there?
Yes.
And you had already left before they got there, so you didn't see if there was a fight going on or the police intervene or hear what your son said, so you can't comment on what he said or didn't say.
Right.
When you left, where were you going?
I was not running from anybody. It came down to a choice. He was leaving or I was. I begged him to let me go, and he gave me the keys and allowed me to leave.
With?
What I thought to be my children. I did not even know Jordan was in the car. I just wanted to get out of there with my kids.
You left behind who?
A 16-year-old, 14-year-old, and 13-year-olds.
Okay. So you were leaving to get your young children out of harm's way. You did not know Jordan was in the car.
Right.
Okay, so you take the children and leave. Where did you go?
I went to a friend's house.
Did you talk to the police later that night?
No.
Because when I talked to Assistant Chief Mark Herman, he said she fled the scene.
The deputies go inside the house, start looking for the 5-year-old. A few minutes later, we're told by witnesses on the scene that the stepmother, moments before our deputies arrived, had fled the location with the child.
Why would she flee the scene?
Yeah, that's a good question. It took us 26 hours to actually recover this kid. We were told lie after lie. We were on a wild goose chase, basically.
There's a lot of inaccuracies in that.
Okay, straighten that out.
I was at the doctor with my son, which is what I told the officer on the phone, who I called, and I told the officer exactly where I was. I proceeded to go into the appointment. He got checked out. There was no lie there. That's exactly where I was.
Where were you arrested?
Just at a hotel.
And were you there with Bradley?
Yes, I was.
And this was the next day?
Yes.
When Jordan was found, there were bumps, there were bruises. He was severely underweight. He had marks on the front of his head. He had marks on the back of his head. He had bones sticking out, shoulder blades, ribs, vertebrae showing through the skin. He had abrasions on the back. He had bleeding from the back. He had skin coming off of the back. And you can't explain how any of this happened. You have no idea how any of that happened.
I never even saw that. I didn't see him looking like that. He had clothes on which covered everything up.
Why was he wearing a diaper when he was found?
Because he wore diapers at night. I mean, my son wore pull-ups at night. That wasn't unusual. He had accidents.
He was 5.
And so was my son.
5-year-olds wearing diapers is not common.
Well, no, a diaper, no, I don't.
It's not common.
I didn't agree with that at all. I mean, that's why my son wore
It
pull-ups.
suggests that there could be some type of medical problem. There could be some type of emotional problem. You know.
Well, the doctor would.
One theory would be that the child is traumatized from being abused and kept in a closet. I mean, that's one theory that's being entertained. You've seen the pictures.
Yes.
Are those disturbing pictures to you? At one point, I read you saying in an interview that you could see bones on your back too. I mean, you seem to be trivializing this.
It was that picture that I was referring to in that statement. But when I saw the other pictures, those are the ones that got to me, the ones of his legs.
As a parent, I cannot imagine a child moving among my space in that kind of condition and not noticing it. How do you have a child in that condition in your home and not notice it? Do you have any knowledge of him ever being in that closet?
No. Other than what people have told me.
I'm talking about you personally.
No personal knowledge.
Okay. I've been in your house, as I say, and despite the fact that the lawyers vehemently denied it, the house clearly had been staged.
I laugh because I've heard that a lot, and I'm just that organized.
Well, let's take a look at this, and then you can comment on it. So the 2 boys slept in here.
Right.
Uh-huh. Has this room been painted since the allegations have been made? Because it's still masked off. And if two little boys lived in here, it looks awfully pristine if two little boys lived in here.
If it has not. I don't know anything about it.
You're saying nobody went in and staged that house for our cameras to walk through?
No, I have pictures of the house from March 11th, and it looks exactly like that.
You know there was paint rollers and pans and everything, brushes and everything just outside the back door.
He started painting it in November or December, and I think it was just finished in February. The tape was still on there because he's lazy. That's why the paint rollers were in the backyard.
When I look at this house that's so pristine, and you're telling me I was so overwhelmed, I didn't notice this emaciated child walking through my house. It was just complete, utter chaos. This just got lost in the mix, and I'm looking at this house and I'm going, really? Really?
Just because your house is organized and clean doesn't have anything to do with the children in it or how they're taken care of.
Where are your children now?
3 of them are with my brother. 3 of them are with another lady, and 1 of them is, I don't know. I took good care of my kids. I always have. I've been a mother for 17 years.
And was there a double standard here? You did one thing for your children, but not something for your stepchild?
I did what I was allowed to do. I did what I could do. I guess typically when 2 parents come together and they get married, they blend their families together, they share responsibilities. I understand that, but that's not what happened in our case.
But you know what every mother in America is thinking about this? Why didn't you get up in the middle of the night and put some food in his bed? Why didn't you call the police? Why did they have to come and find this child in this way instead of you making certain that they found the child, even if it was an anonymous phone call? Why didn't you do whatever it took? Why didn't you put the child's interest ahead of your own? That's what they want to know.
I did everything that I could do for him. I didn't realize what was going on.
Did it occur to you that you could make a phone call, just even from a payphone, just anything, just to get somebody to come here? If you can't ward off, you say, I did everything I could do, but you could have called for help. You could have called 911. You could have reported the situation to CPS.
I didn't realize he was like that. I didn't see him like that. Have you seen pictures of him with his clothes on? Mm-hmm. I mean, he's going to a store, he's going to McDonald's. Nobody else is noticing this either. I'm not the only one.
You're the only one that was mothering him.
I can't say that I was really doing that.
I agree. Did you let that little boy down?
I did everything I could for him. Everything that Brad would let me do, I did.
Did you let that little boy down?
I think there's a lot of people that let him down.
Are you one of them?
Yes. But I tried. I did everything that I could.
15-year-old Erica Parsons. Her adopted brother James called deputies last week to say she had disappeared nearly 2 years ago, but only now is being reported as missing.
The sheriff's office said everything her adoptive parents have told them are lies. They said investigators checked out the story they told that Erica ran off to visit a grandmother, but determined that the information the parents provided was not true.
Erica's not missing. Erica is with Nan.
You dropped her to a lady at the McDonald's, and you've not seen her since.
I've not seen her since.
You thought you knew where Erica was.
I didn't know where she was.
Well, no, you don't know where she is. If you know where she is, then we could go get her.
She's with Nan.
Do you know where she took her? Do you know the
Her
address?
house. No, I don't.
Did you ever look at the house to see?
No, she would send pictures of her house.
Do you have those pictures?
No.
You talked on the phone, so you have her phone number.
We have a cell phone number that got disconnected.
You say that the last time you dropped Erica off with Nan, she was with a woman named Strawberry.
Strawberry.
So you say there was Strawberry,
Kelly,
Nan, Kelly, and a baby.
And a baby.
The police say this woman doesn't exist. There is no Nan. Sandy, you're this girl's father, and you go a year and a half and you don't hear a peep out of her, you don't see her, you don't call her. How is that okay with you?
I thought it was just a rebellious teenager that she'll come home when she needs something. I just knew Nan was taking care of her because...
But how did you know that?
Because my wife told her she was a good woman. And
how did you know that? You never went to her house? You never verified her name?
This is not a little kid. This was a 14-year-old girl at this time.
The bio mom posted something just recently. I am the birth mom. She has no family in Asheville, and I nor her dad have no clue where she is. She also says Erica's biological father's mother has been dead for 5 years. Do you now wonder if maybe you were getting scammed?
I really believe there is Irene Goodman, and she is Erica's grandmother.
Now, Casey and Sandy Parsons did not report their daughter missing. They say they had no idea that anything was amiss. That is, until the police showed up at their door. Now, Casey and Sandy say that the police accused them of murdering Erica. They stand accused today as they sit here and threatened to dig up the backyard to find the little girl's body. Did y'all object to them digging up the backyard?
No.
If they want to dig it up, they can dig it up.
They can do it right
Dig
in
it
a
all
second.
up. Tear it out in the house, everything. It don't matter to me anymore.
Right. Why are police saying that you're not cooperating?
I do not know. The only thing, we sit there for 2 days and being questioned, and they went completely silent after we got a lawyer.
Right. Is there anything in your history that would cause them to be suspect of you?
I have never had any legal trouble whatsoever. Never a speeding ticket.
Well, let's hear what your parents had to say. Take a look at this.
Eyewitness News reporter Dave Faraday dug deeper into this case and tracked down her family.
Steve and Janet Parsons tried to keep their emotions in check as they looked upon the photo of their granddaughter, Erica. They've not seen her for the last year, but never thought the girl who was adopted at birth by Steve's son could be in trouble until they learned of the police investigation that started just last week.
My fear is something happened and nobody's telling us. I'm not talking about the law, I'm talking about my boy and my daughter-in-law.
Her grandparents are praying for answers.
I'm so worried. This is such a precious child. No one ever wants to lose their child.
What do you think about what they're saying?
Say lies.
You have to remember, too, my son that did all this to us and saying all these lies, he lives with that side of the family.
Now, when you took Erica to drop her off on 12/17,
yes.
She was going to stay for 3 weeks, you said?
3 weeks.
So through Christmas?
Through Christmas.
She was not going to be with her family on Christmas. She was going to be with Nan, who's picking her up at the McDonald's.
Yes.
Okay. And so when a teen goes away, they pack a bag. She packed a bag to be gone for 3 weeks. But you say when you got there, she didn't take her suitcase with her.
No, she didn't. I was talking with Nan, and Strawberry had called her to the back of the car, the SUV they was in, and they had purchased all new clothes for her, brand new clothes with tags, even the coat.
Right. So, because I got to say, some people could listen to this, and it's kind of like we sometimes tell our kids if they're at school and their hamster dies, oh, it went to a farm to live, you don't tell them that their hamster died, it went to a farm to live. And here you're saying you drop her off to a lady at McDonald's, she's going to a farm, there's horses, she doesn't take any of her clothes, none of her belongings, because they bought her all new things and had them in the back of the van or station wagon or whatever, SUV, whatever it was. So there wasn't one single thing in that suitcase that child considered a personal item that she wanted to take with her. Not a favorite T-shirt, jammies, sweater.
Well, this time she was coming back in 3 weeks.
Right, for 3 weeks. There wasn't one thing. She said, oh, wait a minute, don't take that. It's got my this in it, or it's got my tennis shoes in it, or it's got my something in it. She didn't take one thing out of that suitcase. She just got out of your van and walked over there, looked in the bag of that, said, got it, don't need a thing, bye.
She had her purse with her.
Right.
That was.
But not
what
one
she had in
thing
her
that she
purse, I
had
don't
packed,
know.
because she packed, right?
No, I pack her clothes.
You pack her clothes.
I packed them.
And so you just took it back. You didn't say, oh, here, wait a minute. You know, you need this underwear, you need these jammies, you need these shoes, you need something. What if you get up there and you need something? It didn't
Well, she
occur
had
to
her
you?
shoes. We had just bought her some for Christmas that she had opened early, and it was black velour-like boots that she wore.
Uh-huh. So she doesn't take her suitcase?
No.
Well, does that strike you odd, Dad?
No, because they was spoiling her. They made it look good there, so she didn't want to come back. There was a Walt Disney grandparent.
Then why do you say you're not concerned today? Both of you said not concerned in the least.
Because it just wasn't that she just left that one time. She went and spent 2 separate weekends with her. We've talked to this lady altogether from July to December. Erica had nothing ever to say bad about Nan, ever. She told my other kids about it, including the son, everything. She told us about the horses, about all the gifts. She loved her. She loved her to death. Of course, people's going to still say, why did we let her go with Nan in the first place?
That's a whole different kettle of fish right there than whether you murdered her or whether you made a bad choice in delegating her upbringing to someone else. Because if this girl's alive, she needs to come forward and say so.
Yes.
She can call me. I mean, she can send me some proof. She can, anything that will help. I want to help clear both of you so you get your children back, number one, and stop being under suspicion if you've not had any role in this girl's demise or disappearance, whatever. And one of the resources that I have, this is Mr. Jack Tremarco right here. Jack Tremarco is, in my opinion, the leading polygraph examiner on the planet. He is a former FBI special agent and FBI polygraph examiner. He's conducted over 3,500 polygraph examinations. He is the best of the best. I will make him available to y'all if you want to sit down and take a polygraph to clear your names.
That's fine with me.
Would you do that?
Yes, I would.
Would you do that? On stage, right here, I offered Casey and Sandy Parsons the opportunity to take a polygraph test to prove they were not involved in their daughter Erica's disappearance, and they agreed with no hesitation. Now, Erica's mom, Casey, volunteered to go first. Now, expert polygraph examiner Jack Tremarco administered the test. He is a former FBI special agent and FBI polygraph examiner. Now, one of the first things Jack does is ask a series of questions to make sure his subject is eligible to take the test and yield accurate results. Now, one of these questions is, are you in pain? Now, why is that important, Jack?
Well, Dr. Phil, because pain can interfere with the physiological reactions that might be confused with deception.
Because she said she was in pain that day, you said, I can't do the test. This wouldn't be fair to you.
She said she was a 9 on a scale of 1 to 10, 10
Right.
being the most terrific pain.
Okay. All right. Now, we offered for Casey to take her pain medication and come back and take the test the next day, but in her defense, she has had some significant surgery in the recent past. So we said, look, take your medication, you've been traveling, go rest in the hotel, do whatever, come back the next day and let's try this again. She refused. Now, Casey's husband, Sandy Parsons, did take a polygraph test. Now, you may be wondering why Casey and Sandy are not here with me now to hear the results. Well, we offered Casey and Sandy the opportunity to come back several times, and each time they adamantly refused. Instead, they flew back to North Carolina, where the FBI and SBI, the State Bureau of Investigation, were waiting with warrants and descended on their home. Take a look.
Breaking news, nearly a dozen local, state, and federal investigators are searching the home of Rowan County teenager Erica Parsons.
The FBI and SBI have now joined in the effort.
Warrants gave us a better idea of what investigators took from here and what they're analyzing right now. According to court documents, that includes carpet pieces, drywall from closets, some with red stains, knives, even a plastic bag with JonBenet Ramsey magazines. Some neighbors told us they fear the worst and just hope Erica is somewhere safe tonight.
That was local coverage from our affiliate there, WSOC, and I want to thank them for all of their help here. Now, the Parsons attorney, Carlisle Sherrill, joins me now from North Carolina. Carlisle, you came to hear the results of the polygraph. I have them right here in this envelope. Now, Jack, you asked 2 questions here, but only testing one issue, correct?
Exactly right.
And the question you asked of Sandy is, did you deliberately cause Erica's disappearance? Now, you didn't ask him if he had killed his daughter. Why did you not ask him that?
Quite frankly, we don't know that she's dead, so that would not be a good question.
All right, then the second question, a variation of the first, you said, did you have a plan to cause Erica's disappearance? And his answer to both questions was?
No.
All right. And you say here that the results to both questions was strongly deceptive.
That's correct. The numerical scoring for that particular format was -9. In order for him to have failed this test, he would have needed a -4 or above. And so he was what I consider strongly deceptive to those relevant questions.
This wasn't really even a close call. Do you have a story or a question for me? Click the link in the description and tell me what in the world is going on.